Good morning. So we'll continue with session 8 on matrix method of structural analysis. I'm Dr. Jyoti TK, Assistant Professor, Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. So here today we are going to discuss about stiffness method and kinematic indeterminacy. So what is the stiffness method or displacement method? In the displacement method of analysis, the primary unknowns are the displacements. In this method, first force displacement relations are computed and subsequently equations are written satisfying the equilibrium conditions of the structure. After determining the unknown displacements, the other forces are calculated satisfying the compatibility conditions and force displacement relations. So the displacement based method is amenable to the computer programming and hence the method is being widely used in the modern day of structural analysis. So here in case of flexibility method the unknowns were forces, but in case of stiffness method unknowns are what displacements. So here the first is what force displacement relations are calculated and, subsequently equations are written to satisfy the equilibrium conditions of the structure. Once we know the unknown displacement, the other forces are calculated, satisfying the compatibility conditions and force displacement relationship. The displacement based method is amenable compared to flexibility method. Here, displacement method is more easy for computer programming and hence method is widely used in the modern day of structural analysis. In stiffness, in flexibility method, we used to find out the degree of static indeterminacy. Here, we are going to find out the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So, what is this kinematic indeterminacy? Structures in which the displacement of nodal points cannot be determined by the compatibility equations are said to be kinematic indeterminacy. So, if it is not able to satisfy cannot be determined by the compatibility equations, then it is called as what? Kinematic indeterminacy. So the degree of kinematic indeterminacy, also known as kinematic indeterminacy, is also known as what? Degree of freedom will be equal to the number of independent nodal displacement in the structure. It will be equal to the structure may be, for example, if I take a hinge support or a roller support. So a hinge support can withstand the horizontal and vertical displacement, but it will allow rotation. So here the independent nodal displacement in a hinge support is a rotation, right? So that is how we are going to find out the degree of freedom. So let us consider a rigid joint portal frame here. So you can see that there is a both the sides there is a fixed support, right? So here support A will not allow any type of translation or rotation. Even support D will not allow any type of translation or rotation. But B and C, we do not have any support here. So it will undergo rotation as well as translation. Right. So the degree of freedom is equal to 4. Sorry. Theta B, theta C, UB and UC. But we assume that UB is equal to UC. Right. So the degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 3. Which are those three? Theta B, theta C and UB. Right. So here the joints B and C will undergo rotation and translation. We are neglecting the axial deformation of the members. The lateral translation of joints B and C, that is UB and UC, are equal because since we are neglecting the axial deformation, we'll consider that UB is equal to UC. Hence, there will be three unknowns: theta B, theta C, and UB. So, if we consider in a second problem, there is a fixed support and there is a roller support. So, here B and C will undergo translation and rotation, and support D will undergo uh, this one horizontal displacement. There will be rotation. So unknowns will be theta B, theta C, UB is equal to UC, and here theta D. So altogether IK is equal to, that is kinematic indeterminacy is equal to 4. If in the next problem there are two hinge support. So here in the second problem also it is a hinge, not roller. Sorry. So here in a hinge support it will allow rotation. So theta A, theta D, theta B, theta C, as well as UB is equal to UC. So altogether 5 degree of freedom is equal to 5. Which are those? Theta A, the hinge support will allow rotation. Theta D, that will also allow rotation. Theta B also allows rotation. Theta C also allows rotation. And in addition to that, B and C will also undergo translation in the horizontal direction. Though since axial deformation is neglected, we'll assume that UB is equal to UC. Therefore, IK is equal to 5. So these are few assignment problems which you have to try. There is a propped cantilever. So what is the degree of freedom here? Fixed support will not allow any type of rotation or translation, whereas hinge support will allow rotation. So degree of freedom is equal to 1 here. And here you can see there is a fixed support, hinge and a fixed support. So at the hinge support it will allow rotation again. So degree of freedom is equal to 1, that is theta b. If we have a support beam like this, simple support beam, you have 3 hinges, so it will allow rotation in all the hinge points. So the degree of freedom is equal to 3, theta a, theta b and theta c. Similarly for a frame problem, there are 2 fixed support here, so it will not allow any translation or rotation, but at this point there is no, at this point there is no support, so it will allow rotation as well as translation. So here degree of freedom is equal to ub and theta b, right? So similarly try to do the problem with a fixed and a hinge support, and here again fixed support, both the ends fixed support, here hinge and a fixed support, and here both are hinge support. So this is an assignment problem which you have to do, which you have to try to find out what is the degree of freedom. Thank you.